So thank you for folks that have joined. We had a good number of signups. So thank you to my co-presenter, Kristen, who will keep admitting students as they're joining, but we'll go ahead and get started, be mindful of everyone's time. So this is kind of our semester presentation that we do each term on international internship opportunities. My name is Sarah Simonite, Associate Director in our Center for International Education, and I will let my co-presenter, Kristen, introduce herself as well.
Hi, I'm Kristen Wickman. I'm the Associate Director for Experiential Learning in the Career Center.
Yeah. So we are going to hear from a few students. One is going to be a video that she provided because she's currently working. And then two of our other past alumni who participated in both of our summer internships this past summer are coming from class. So we may just kind of break where we are and when there's a natural pause and have them jump in to share a little bit about their experience. But we think it's important to hear from the student's perspective. So we thank them in advance for attending. But before we kind of get started on the nitty gritty, if we can go ahead and you want to play Kylie's her video that she provided, or we can come back to it. Kristen, do you have a preference?
We can begin with playing the video now.
Yeah.
Just let's make sure that the sound works on this.
Okay, if someone in the chat can give a thumbs up if you can hear. Go ahead and yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Kylie Pettit and I studied abroad last semester in Sorrento, Italy, and I completed a communications internship there. So a little bit about the pre-process. Before I went to Italy, I met with the internship coordinator at my school, the Santana Institute, and we just kind of interviewed and talked through my expectations, my resume, and all of that stuff. And then she placed me with originally a gym, and we kind of talked about it. It really wasn't the right fit for me. So then she assigned me to Villa Savana, which is a luxury event and hotel venue in Sorrento. And basically what I did there is the social media and marketing plan. I increased posting on Instagram and on TikTok. I created original reels and video content that was really heavily emphasized. And I analyzed all the data each week to see how I was progressing. And then in the end, we did a final project. So a little bit about the villa. I would go every Monday and Wednesday from 9 to 2. So it really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't a big time commitment. It was actually the off season there in Sorrento. So the villa was actually closed and there was no events. But I think it was a really cool experience to be there during that time because I got to see the behind the scenes of how everyone works during that time. The staff was very small. It was only like 5 people. So I kind of got really close to them, and I could kind of talk to each one of them about their experiences and what they do. And it was really cool to see like people just coming in and like planning their wedding. So it was really cool to see that. And it was also cool to see how the hotel transformed to April when it opened. So I would do the social media throughout the whole off season, and then when the hotel opened, I would sit in the villa a lot and I would talk to the customers and everyone in my broken Italian. So it was really cool to kind of be in the thick of it then. My everyday things I would do, again, I would do the social media. So the Italian work culture is very different from the US. They're very hands off. So when I originally met with my supervisor, Julia, at the villa, she literally was just like, hey, I just want you to do the social media, like just post more and make videos. And that was like really challenging for me in the beginning because I was so used to my previous internships in the US being like, hey, like Kylie, today I need you to do like XYZ by this time. And I think like the only instruction was to just post stuff. That definitely took me aback at first. And I think I kind of had to rework my expectations and rework my work style pretty much. And I think I really learned how to be adaptable and how to kind of think really quickly and just kind of change everything. So I think overall, I wouldn't have won it any other way. I think they do that because they really want to see how your brain kind of takes something and how you can creatively make a project out of it without any instruction really. And I think it was cool to be able to do that all by myself because I've never really done that before. So definitely an amazing experience with that. And the language barrier there for me, it wasn't bad. Almost everyone in the office spoke English, and I never really had trouble communicating like basic English. A little bit of like culture was obviously different, but I think that the language, I got really lucky. If you do end up doing an internship and there is a language barrier, Google Translate's your best friend, and to just be patient. Both sides are kind of working to figure out what you're saying. So definitely be patient with the language and the cultural barriers. But anyway, I had the most amazing experience. I could not recommend it enough. I learned so much about myself and about like Italy in general, and just being around people from a different country and a work experience is something that I will never forget. I had the most amazing time just running around the villa, making videos and just kind of being creative and seeing where my brain took these tasks that I was told to do in the beginning. And it was really amazing to see in the end how much the pages grew and how much people were responding to what I was posting, and just in general seeing the staff of the villa just be very appreciative. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm sure you can get my email somehow, but yeah, I definitely recommend this experience for sure. So thank you.
Well,
Hi everyone, my name is Kylie Pettit and I studied abroad.
yes, so thank you in advance to Kylie, and I'm happy to share her email if you want to hear more. And as you see up there, we're going to have Carly, who was in Spain this summer, particularly in Barcelona. She did a non-CFC program, which we'll get into, but that's what Kylie did during her semester long in Italy last spring. And then Chloe will join us as well, and she participated in CFC's German internship, where she earned credit at CFC. We'll hear from those folks in just a few.
It looks like Chloe just joined us. Would you like to hear from her now, or do we want to wait a little bit after we give some more information?
Yeah, Chloe, you can go ahead, and if you'll share, and then if we have students who are thinking of questions and can post to you. But thank you, Chloe. We'll do this kind of interview style, although I did prep you. So I shared a little bit that you did the CFC program this summer, but if you'll share a little bit more on what your internship was like, and particularly those challenges navigating within a different work culture.
Yeah, of course. Hey, everyone. My name is Chloe, and as you already heard, I participated in the summer internship in Germany program, and I interned with an NGO in Munich called Menschen für Menschen, which means people for people in German. And they worked on a project development work in Ethiopia. So they have several offices in Switzerland, Austria, and Ethiopia itself to carry out their project work for water, sanitation, education, medical services, etc. So my job, I kind of oversaw the entire office process that they did and the inner workings of an NGO. And what made it unique is that it was almost entirely in German. And I did a month-long language course in Berlin as part of the program as well. So that definitely helped me prepare for it. But yes, it was quite the big and dramatic language exposure for me, but honestly, it was completely worth it. And all of my coworkers were so welcoming and patient with me as I navigated that. Some of the work I did a lot of project like information analysis. I also did some digital marketing work because they were going through a brand transformation period, and just general overworkings and overseeing all of the processes in the institution. I got to sit in on the weekly meetings, and it was all just a great experience.
Lloyd, did you have an internship experience before? Maybe any work experience in the US, and difference in styles that you noticed with your German coworkers, or maybe just international coworkers if they were from other countries?
Yeah, so I currently have an internship with the Honors College here on campus. And I did this as well last spring, but that was only the really the only internship experience I've ever had in college so far. But Also, I feel like it was a different environment because it was with an actual company, whereas I was just working for the school. So it would be different anyways, as if even if I had worked for an American company. But yeah, just everyone was very different than Americans, I feel like. I had coworkers from all over. I had German, Austrian, English, Ethiopian coworkers. And it was wonderful to all work with them, to hear their life stories, to hear their career stories as they started it, obviously in Germany or abroad. Um, but I feel like my two experiences aren't really too comparable because I've been working alongside other students, other faculty members here at CFC versus like an actual company environment. But I did find the German working environment to be quite relaxed, and I imagine than compared to what I imagined an American environment would be. Um, they had a kitchen where we would all eat lunch together every single day, and it was just a very good, happy environment. And everyone like walked around the office and just chatted with each other about their lives, and like we're very open and very engaged with each other's lives, and we're friends outside the office as well. I went to a beer garden with my coworkers, which was super fun and very German. So yeah, I really did enjoy working in a German company corporate environment. So I would definitely return and go back to that.
Do you feel like you got the same level of oversight? So I don't know if you joined and heard Kylie, who shared a video reflecting on her semester internship experience. It was a little more hands-off than her previous experience working in the US. And anything about like working hours, if those are different than the US as well?
I did not get a chance to hear about her experience, but I actually do have a course with her, which is fun. But I worked 5 days a week, 9 to 5, pretty much. I did collaborate quite a bit with all my coworkers. I worked directly with the digital marketing team. I shared an office with two of my other coworkers, and I worked directly with them. They gave me tasks that I would do, and they would oversee me with. I met up with my supervisor, and I engaged with even the CEO of my company in the weekly meetings. So I did get quite a bit of oversight and a lot of collaboration, which I was very grateful for. And they were all very encouraging, especially because most of it was in German. So that was also another added obstacle to the whole summer. But again, they were very patient. It was just an overall wonderful experience and exactly what I pictured when I pictured doing an internship abroad.
Great, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Kristen, I don't know if you have any questions for her, or we can go through. Now we've got everybody extra excited about how to do an internship. We can get to the nuts and bolts of how to make that happen.
Yeah, I think so. And then hopefully if Chloe can stay on and answer any questions that students might have about her experience or chime in with what her experience has been like with the information that we talk about, that would be great. And hopefully we'll be able to hear from Carly soon too. So one of the things in the collaboration between the Career Center and the Center for International Education is that we want students to understand what makes a good internship, because not all internships are created equal. So as you can see, it's a form of experiential learning that is supposed to integrate knowledge and theory that you learn in the classroom with practical application and skills development in a professional setting. So as you are looking for internships, whether they be domestic or international, we want you to understand some important points to it. The internship should have clearly defined duties, tasks, and projects that you will be working on. Internships also typically only last 1 semester. If you're interning in the States, during a regular semester, we recommend between 10 to 15 hours a week. If the internship is paid, perhaps you can put in more time. But what we want to avoid is employers receiving free labor from students. That's why we want to cap it around 10 to 15 hours per week. Another very critical component of an internship is that you should receive feedback regularly and training from someone who is a professional in the field. So let's say that you're a marketing student and you should be able to be mentored by someone who has that academic and or professional background in marketing so that they can show you and train you on the different systems that are used, and things along those lines. And then finally, internships should outline what their learning objectives are. And what that means is that you should come away with skills, knowledge, and training. They should be able to tell you what you will gain as a result of the experience. So it should be a very transparent experience and one that is completely beneficial to you as a student who is learning in the field. The other thing that I want to say about internships that are a little bit different abroad is that most internships abroad are unpaid. So just keep that in mind. Unless you're working internationally for a company that has a location in the United States, typically internships abroad are unpaid. So this is just a little bit of information from the employer's perspective on why it's important to participate in internships. When employers were surveyed as to what sort of skills and attributes they would like to see on a student's resume, here are the top 5 that they listed: problem-solving skills, ability to work in a team, strong work ethic, analytical quantitative skills, communication skills, and technical skills. So whether you're pursuing an internship domestic or abroad, keep in mind those top skills and how you're working to develop those skills in those settings. Another component of career readiness that employers are looking for in their future workforce is a good understanding of equity and inclusion. So you can take a moment to read over how that's defined and also some of the sample behaviors. I've highlighted some of the ones that could be applicable to an intern or study abroad type of experience. They may all be, it just depends on what the experience is. But it's good to know how you are developing those skills that employers are really looking for when they are interviewing and hiring candidates. Any questions about those skills? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to you, Sarah.
Okay, and I just dropped in the chat, Chloe is taking a pause from her internship now. So she's got to go in a couple minutes. I did share her email, but if anybody's got some burning questions, that might be helpful for the rest of the group. Feel free to drop it in the chat, or you can unmute and ask now. We probably have a time for 1 or 2 before Chloe has to leave. Or if you think of them later, you can grab her email address and connect with her at another time. So if I don't see any.
I have a quick question.
Oh, okay.
They were just talking about how most internships abroad were unpaid. Were you paid from working 40 hours a week?
Yes, I was paid, but I was the only person out of 5. There were 6 people from CFC total who went on the program, and I was the only one that got paid. But I didn't get an hourly wage. I got like a monthly stipend. So that's like pretty common, and I'm sure that if you find an internship like outside of a CFC program, they're more likely to get paid. It's just like a matter of opportunity. But I was lucky enough to get paid, and that really helped me like fund my travels and stuff.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. I will say that's probably actually an anomaly, because what we're talking about is for academic credit. So, and that's a good segue into this next slide. So, you know, the students who have done these internships that are on our panel are actually receiving credit. So instead of taking like a statistics class or a history class, they were receiving credit. So that's you know, that's why, and I don't know what that particular situation was, Chloe, but if there was like a stipend to help cover maybe transportation costs, you know, that may, do you have a follow-up?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a German studies double major, so I got the credit towards that major evidently. But because I also worked for an NGO, I feel like it's also part of their moralities and principles to pay an intern.
Mm.
So it really just depends on the kind of company you're working for, because I know another girl in my group worked at the Berlin Red Cross. Sorry, I just said it, Red Cross, and she did not get paid, but she did like hands-on medical work. So it really depends on matter of opportunity and whoever you're working for.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good clarification. And also because it gets into visa and immigration issues if you're not, authorized to work in that country. But most of what we're talking about today is for academic credit. So, real quick, and I know, sorry, I couldn't see who has questions. So if there's not any others, I know, like I said, Chloe has to go. But hopefully everybody can grab her email if you have questions, follow up later. So thank you, Chloe. And we're taking time away from your current internship, so appreciate that and you being here. So
No worries. Thank you for having me.
cheers. So as we said, Chloe did, we have a standard summer program with the German department where students are taking language class at the beginning and then doing that full-time internship for German credit at CFC. There are scholarships available for that for a number of our intern abroad programs, again, for academic credit. And then the other two panelists, so you heard from Kylie, who did a semester-long program with an affiliate, and we'll hear from Carly soon, who did a summer internship in Barcelona with another affiliate. So affiliates are these study abroad organizations that we're partnered with, and they provide students with the opportunity to study, but also intern in locations around the world. Everything through our office is for academic credit. So even if it's just elective credit, students go through a course approval process to know that they can receive credit. And if a department decides, it's their prerogative how they will approve or not approve a course. So if that internship is not approved, say for a specific major credit or minor credit, we still want students to think about what that value is for that experience. Even if they're getting elective credit, just, how that's going to be a great resume builder network. You heard Kylie talk about how she became more kind of independent and adaptable. So we personally, I think can speak for Kristen as well, see the value that can be gained maybe beyond the academic credit, and really want students to think about that if they're disappointed and have a course approved that's not an exact match for the internship requirements, say for their major or minor. This is considered, as I said, is for academics, kind of part of a study abroad, intern abroad. So there's an application within via TRM, which is the application and portal of all of our potential study abroad opportunities that you can have through CFC. And their, placements in all different disciplines. So I didn't hear back, but we actually had a student who was an English major who did an internship abroad. So traditionally, you may think of students who are marketing, communication, business, but it's fun to see students in political science or even English that have opportunities. So we don't want students to be limited based on their academic interests or majors. So we're a little bit alphabet soup. So, but these are just some, I know it's gonna be overwhelming, but some of the affiliate partners that we work with. And so here in the Center for International Education, our job is to help you identify, programs. And so I know it can be overwhelming. So that's why we want to have conversations with you and help you identify, potential affiliate programs that work best with for your needs. But in general, most of the partner organizations we work with have these opportunities. I do kind of want to point out that one, Global Experiences in the top kind of far right, exclusively that's what they do is internships abroad. And this is just an example of their website, just so you can show how you can do a search filter. So there at the bottom, you can put in the location and then the area that you want to intern in, and then based on that particular time, if it's a semester or summer. So that's going to be kind of the standard layout on all of the affiliates when you go to the internship. So that will help narrow down the potential fields for you. Well, I think we can skip this, no offense to Alicia, but we did hear from another, and if Carly joins us, I want to have an opportunity for students to kind of engage with a live student. Happy to share this as well, but that's really cool. The student, she studied abroad with global experiences last fall in Paris. So that was very cool. So again, as I mentioned, everything through our office is for academic credit, even if it's just going to count as electives. And most students need some sort of electives in order to get to their 122 for graduation. So as I said, we can share this presentation, but that's the link for our application portal via TRM. You'll log in with your My Portal credentials. You can see some upcoming deadlines. So we tend to see more students do an internship abroad in the summer. But we, as you heard from Kylie, do have students who will do a study and intern combo. So maybe take 3 classes, 4 classes, and that 4th or 5th class count is their internship that they're getting credit for. So the placement process, you'll work with Professor Delalana if you were doing the CFC German internship. So he is the German professor that is the program director for that particular program. But your Cultural Vistas is the organization they work with the actual placement. Same if you're doing a non-CFC or affiliate program. Typically, your students need to prepare a resume, a CV, and the affiliate will have a separate kind of internship coordinator, and they'll work with you. There are resources available with Kristen in her office, because certainly how you're interning, how you're interviewing rather, and then with the added layer of a different culture, they can provide helpful tips for those contexts. Typically, because it's a little bit of a matching process, the earlier you start, the better. So sometimes, want to give yourself maybe 2 or 3 weeks earlier for the deadline, so that you're just allowing more time for preparing for those documents like the CV and resume. Oh, we have a question? No. And there can certainly now in the age of Zoom, certainly can do some virtual interviews, and probably more so than pre-pandemic, placements can be done possibly prior to when you're on site. Sometimes those may be finalized when you are there. And really encouraging students to be open to the type of internship, maybe the particular company or organization. So you heard Chloe worked with an NGO. Sometimes we'll have students, I'm a comm major, I want to work for the, the BBC, or I'm a finance major, I want to go to London, I want to intern with, JP Morgan. Sometimes students who are with these smaller organizations, more startups, they're actually doing more hands-on work, more tangible. They're feeling they're more productive and contributing to the actual mission of that business or organization. So really want students to be kind of flexible and open to what possible placements there are versus kind of those traditional, more commonly known multinational companies.
And I'll just add that the Career Center can assist students who are looking to not go through an affiliate provider or do an internship for credit through the Center for International Education. We do have, and I'll talk a little bit about this in a little bit, some protocol and things to think about whenever you are searching for yourself. But I just want to also mention the resume CV preparation we assist with, as Sarah had mentioned, and that could be for domestic or international internships. And we also do conduct mock interviews. With the affiliate programs, you have that nice additional support layer of that internship coordinator who will work with you to develop those types of things and do an interview. But we also have those resources available for you. So the program options for non-academic credit, you could look through affiliate programs for options through those types of programs. We do have some information on recommended guidelines for international internships. So along with the criteria that I had mentioned earlier in the presentation of what makes a good internship, there are additional layers that you need to consider. So any additional costs, the professional conduct, what that looks like in a new setting, a new cultural setting, visas, work permits, what sort of language proficiency that you need. And you're also going to want to be very careful about ensuring that where you're working will be a safe workplace. So there's a lot of different things to think about when searching on your own for an international internship, but something that we can work with you and talk you through. Sarah, did you want to speak about virtual internships?
Sure, I was just answering Peyton's question, and if you have any, follow-up, do let me know. But so this virtual internship opportunities really were birthed out of the pandemic, as you can imagine. But really are, don't want students to look at it as, okay, that was just kind of a bridge until we got back to students being able to be on site, which certainly they are and have been. But some of these opportunities still exist, and it has certain benefits, such as for cost, for your time, maybe if you're not able to, for other obligations or situations, not able to be on site. We still want students to have that opportunity for those international connections. So you could do a virtual internship. So we had about 2 or 3 students who did this right as we were, gradually starting to come back from the pandemic. So I think spring of 21, we had a student intern with one of our partners in Greece. And it was interesting to hear back that they still felt like there were some of those kind of cultural barriers and challenges that they had, because you're still communicating, certainly having to deal with time differences, but there's still skills that they gained, as you see listed here, in working in that virtual format. So that's still an opportunity if students are interested, particularly for finance reasons or accessibility reasons. So know that is available, and we're happy to talk to you more about that as well.
One of the things that we wanted to provide you with, I had mentioned, if you're looking to do a search on your own, we do have on our website, under internships and experiential learning opportunities, a link for international internship considerations and web links. So it will go step by step through the guidelines that we recommend when you're searching for an internship abroad. It will also provide you with a number of web resources for programs that are internationally based for internships, even companies that are globally based that have US locations. We also mentioned the affiliate programs and the CFC-led programs that the Center for International Education has. So it's a pretty comprehensive site. If you go to careercenter.cfc.edu and just select students, and then under internship and experiential learning opportunities. As you may or may not know, our website is going to be changing. So this website, our existing website, will be available until December. Then all of our resources for international internships are going to live on the intranet, the hub. So we can talk a little bit more about that if you have questions, but I just wanted to give you an update that our website is going to look different, and that you will access these resources in a different way beginning in December 2023. Another really exciting resource that we wanted to share with you, we had this resource a few years ago. It wasn't very well utilized, but now we have fought to get it back, and we're hoping that you will take advantage of it. This is a site called Going Global. And to the right, you can see some of the information that they offer. They have country career guides. You can search for international jobs on this platform, international internships. It will also provide information about USA City career guides if you have any questions about that. Information on OPT and H-1B. And then also, we're really excited about an additional feature that is called the Culture Wizard. And that is a learning platform that helps students build skills to effectively engage across cultures. So we're hoping that you will take a look at this and use it as a resource as part of your comprehensive search. The way that you access Going Global is through our online platform system, Handshake. For those of you who have been on Handshake, you may know it as the Career Center's platform for domestic internships, job opportunities, part-time job opportunities, volunteer opportunities. Well, it also has a resource library, and in that resource library lives Going Global. So if you haven't been on Handshake, you can access the platform by going to cfc.joinhandshake.com, log in with your CFC information, and then on the left, there is a tab for Career Center. Once you click that and you select resources, you will be able to access the Going Global resource that is now up on the platform. Does anyone have any questions about this particular platform?
I'm having trouble seeing all that, but all the participants. So if someone's raising their hand, sorry, just go ahead and unmute. But Carly has joined us. I saw a minute. There she is. So I haven't seen her since the spring. So Carly, I gave a little teaser about you and your experience at the beginning, but will you just do an introduction, who you are, what you're studying, and then a little bit about your experience, and maybe some folks will have some questions for you.
Yeah, of course. So, hi everyone. My name is Carly Sasuda, and I am a senior at the College of Charleston. I am a communication major with a minor in European studies. And this summer, I did an international internship in Barcelona, Spain. And I did it through an affiliate provider. I went through IFSA, the Institute for Study Abroad. And I interned with a English-speaking magazine company over there. And I spent a lot of time just kind of working with international clients, writing for the magazine, meeting with a lot of people involved with the magazine. So that was really cool. And I also got to travel around a lot of Spain as well and outside of the country. So that was really rewarding, really fun. And I definitely met a lot of cool people abroad also. Yeah, and I can help you out with anything, any questions you might have, because I went through all of it this summer.
So what about, so we've heard from a student who interned in Italy and Germany. Tell us a little bit about, maybe one or two differences in the Spanish culture that you noticed, maybe different from the US work culture.
Yeah, so I would get up to go to my internship every day at 8 a.m. And I realized that since I was working with an American company, like that was pretty normal. But a lot of internships there, like one of my friends did more so like working with a Spanish company, and she didn't have to go till like 12. So it definitely was not as get up early and work. It was more of like a slow paced environment, which I know could be like beneficial for a lot of other people. And the nice thing about Barcelona is it's very English speaking. So don't worry if you don't speak Spanish at all, because I'm not very good at Spanish, and you can go around pretty much everywhere in that city speaking English.
And what were types of like assignments, because you did it for credit, that you had to produce? Was there a project at the end?
Yeah, so I did kind of like a big project the whole time I was there. I did kind of a mixture of like a lot of things, but my main project was I wrote an article about like the best banks in Barcelona for expats, and expats are just people that are living outside of their native country. So I spent time like interviewing people. I talked to one of the CFOs of one of the biggest banks in Spain. So that was really awesome, really cool. Definitely didn't think I'd be doing that, but I did. And it was really fun. So I spent my whole time pretty much working on that. And yeah, that was like my big project. I also spent time like doing social media stuff. I edited a lot of things for the brand's Instagram. And then I spent a lot of time building like a LinkedIn presence as well. That was a huge part of my internship. And I definitely got like a bunch of connections abroad as well. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Had you had an internship experience before domestically or work? Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few here and it was a little bit different. Definitely just like I feel like working with the American company that I worked for, like it was similar, but also different in the sense that it was just something like different, like kind of new, but it was kind of similar, but also different as well.
And what would you say some kind of areas or skills that you grew in or were challenged?
I think for me, I was kind of scared because going through affiliate programs, like you might not be going with a lot of people from College of Charleston. That was definitely really scary for me. And it was just very like new country with whole new people. Like I was kind of overwhelmed by it. But I think it really was beneficial to kind of like throw myself out there and do something that I wouldn't normally do. Because normally I would have liked to go with like a bunch of my friends, but I definitely met some like amazing people and I still talk to a lot of them even now. So I think it was really cool to just like try do something where I wouldn't know like anyone at all.
Yeah, big confidence builder. Yeah.
Definitely.
That was one of the questions someone was asking about how many students. So do you remember about how many just roughly were on your program with IFSA in Barcelona?
Yeah, so IFSA was more of like a smaller program. There were only about like 10 of us in total.
Okay.
So, yeah, it definitely was a bit on the smaller side, but they also spent a lot of time getting to know us personally, which I really liked. And our program also was able to do a lot of excursions since we all kind of had like the same like work schedule every week. We could always like use the weekends to like travel to different parts of Spain.
Good. Well, I've asked a lot of questions, and I know we're kind of wrapping up towards our time here, but I do want to have an opportunity or provide an opportunity for any of our attendees, students, your peers who want to ask questions. So sorry, I still can't see the whole gallery view. So just unmute yourself and jump in if you've got a question for either myself, Kristen, or certainly Carly. Someone's got a burning question that will be so helpful for everybody else.
I'm reviewing the chat. I don't see anything in the chat at this point.
Okay.
Oh, I have a question. So,
Yeah, Carly.
okay, some of you guys mentioned like the match process. Would that be done like through all of these like websites? Do you just get like what do you just choose based off that, or should you meet with like an advisor or someone that like works like one of you guys or something like that? Like what would be like the first step just to make sure you're making the right choice, or is it all just like your own judgment? I guess is my question.
Great question. I know that can benefit everybody. So thank you for asking that. I'll first say, I think definitely using the resources of the Career Center, certainly. So thinking about most of our students, as I think you heard, Carly share, and certainly Chloe as a German major are doing an internship related to the field of which they're majoring or minoring. So, you're not limited to that, but because the match process, as you mentioned, they're looking for someone who's got, relevant either work, internship, or course experience a lot of times in that area. So typically it's within that subject area that you're studying. And then, you'll have an initial kind of conversation when you go through an affiliate. And maybe, Carly could share a little bit more about that timeline leading up. I think that would be helpful. But, do you want finance? Do you want marketing? Do you want political science? And a lot of the affiliates will have examples of internship placement, so you get an idea. So as much kind of information as you can provide of what you're looking for, at the same time being flexible and not so I've got to work for, JP Morgan as an accounting, but if you can be flexible, but a lot of that is done, those conversations, sharing your resume, what your interests, what your goals are for your experience. So kind of thinking that through using the resources of the Career Center and Kristen, kind of being, thoughtful about what your goals are for the experience, and that will help narrow down. So Carly, can you share a little bit about how that process worked for you on that end?
Yeah, so when I was searching for like a provider to go through, I was kind of just like skimming through, like a lot of them show like the areas of study that they offer, and some of them are more specific than others. So in my instance, I was looking for like a communication internship, and what I liked about IFSA and theirs is they gave like a very detailed description of what you could potentially be doing. And also, I know from my provider, when I applied and got into the program, they match you with local businesses. And I think I did like 3 or 4 interviews in total, and then got to choose from those businesses like which one I would want to work for. So I think like a lot of the times what they'll show on the website is kind of just like an example of what people have done in the past, but the program will work with you and talk to you and find you something like based off of your interests.
I just want to add also the benefit of going through an affiliate provider is that those sites are vetted. Someone at the program goes and makes sure that it is a legitimate company, that they are offering a learning experience. So that's another benefit of going through an affiliate provider.
Right, they have this established network, and Carly, I don't know, you're aware of this or if it applies, but sometimes they've had students previously at that internship site. They're continuing to build their network, but yes, as Kristen said, they're making sure that this is ultimately a learning experience for the student, and that the host intern placement is going to be a supportive partner in that. Is that helpful, Molly? Any other?
Yes, thank you guys.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you so everybody can hear that. All righty, well, as I said, we're wrapping up our time here. Does anybody else have any other questions? While you may be thinking of that, I'm going to drop our study abroad email in the chat. So if you have any other follow-up questions, we can direct you from there.
I will also put in the Career Center's email.
Yes, please.
And then it would be really helpful if you all have an extra minute or so to just indicate how you learned about the session today. We're trying to get information on how best to connect with our students. And one of our students did mention that they learned from their academic department and a few emails that the Career Center sent out through Handshake. So that's really helpful information. So we would appreciate that as well. Thank you for your time. Thank you for attending.
And thank you, Carly. It was good to see you, especially after all of the meetings before. It's always fun to see students when they're back, and that you had a valuable experience and learned as much outside of the placement as you did inside, as I say, of the classroom, but your classroom was your placement.
Yeah, it was so fun. I loved like every minute of it. I would do it again like 100 times if I could.
Good to meet the CFO of a bank in Spain.
I know. I didn't expect that. I like went in one day and he was like, "Oh, you're meeting with this guy," and it's like the CEO of Banco Sabadell. I was like, "Okay."
Casual.
Fun. Yeah. It was so
Alrighty.
fun. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Bye, you too.
All righty.
All right. I think you were recording it. Were you able to stop the recording?
Oh, I am now.